You have tuned in to Be the Voice podcast, where we are using our voices to shatter the silence by promoting healing from past trauma, aiming for victorious living, and uplifting the work to improve our communities. It's time to be informed, encouraged, and empowered. With your favorite host, Dee Marie. Well, good evening and welcome to Be the Voice podcast. This is your host, Dee Marie, and look who is back in the studio.
Woo, I'm back.
Latonya Buford, my sister. So we are back, and at Be the Voice podcast, we are here to shatter the silence by promoting healing from past trauma, aiming for victorious living, and uplifting those that are doing the work in the community. So be prepared to be informed, encouraged, and empowered. Our goal is to change the narrative. But before we get started, I want to let you know that tonight's episode is actually brought to you by Pretty Little Candle. And you guys, it smells so good. So Pretty Little Candle, they make themed candles and some like food candles and just different beautiful, unique. So there's bold, unique, and extravagant candles. So if you want to get your candles, you can go to prettylittlecandlec.com and you can find all amazing, just
all of them.
Yes, and they smell so good. So yeah, let's get started.
I'm ready.
So we are here tonight. We're back with our second episode of season 2. Glad to have Latonya back. So what have you been up to this summer? Because, we didn't have any podcasts over the summer. So tell them what you've been up to.
Only thing, traveling, trying to get my travel on. I've done a couple of things. I have officially moved my daughter to DC. Yes. And that's about it, traveling and working. That's it.
I know that's right. What else is there to do? Huh?
Right.
And you got one kid that's a senior.
I know.
Your last
I'm almost done. I'm so excited. I don't know what to do. I see a whole new world opening up.
Right.
So I'm excited.
Well, I did know. Then some of them came back. But I guess that's what happens.
That is
when you have
you
kids.
Never truly get rid of them altogether.
Because they end up coming back.
Yeah.
But it's all good. I love my babies. But I love traveling and stuff too.
Right.
Yeah. So tonight, what are we going to talk about?
You tell me, host Dee Marie.
So tonight episode, we want to talk about what is keeping you from living, from truly living.
Wow.
What is stopping you and what is holding you back from living? And maybe it's time that we look in the mirror.
Absolutely.
So, there's a lot to unpack.
It starts from, I thought about the question. I've been thinking about it since you said we was going to talk about it. And I'm like, what is really holding me back?
Right. Well, the one question is, are you truly living?
Oh, that's good.
That's actually where you kind of start. Okay. Am I really living?
And if I want to be perfectly honest, no. Let's say this. I live or I exist, but I'm not living the way I want to.
Right.
I'm not living the dream that I see and the goal that I've set for myself at this age. I'm 50 now, and there's so many things that I wish I could have done differently.
Right.
I don't regret anything because it truly made me who I am. But now I'm about to be an empty nester. I have 2 grown kids and 1 semi-grown child.
Right.
So now I see, have I been living? I've been a single parent for 30 years almost.
Right.
And so now, like I said, it's a whole new world that's opening.
Yeah.
And now I don't think anybody know when that 50 switch is like everything open up and you see things clearly. And I don't think I'm really truly living. And now I feel the urge. I can live.
Yeah.
Now I have a freedom. I don't have to be responsible for other people.
Look, we're gonna be responsible for them for a minute.
But I know
but they're not. They're self-sufficient. They're not.
Absolutely.
They're grown. They're grown. Yeah,
absolutely.
I think. Am I truly living? I don't know. I say I am, but I'm not quite. And so I'm not 50 yet. I'll be 50 next year, but I'm not quite where I think I really want to be, or where I saw myself at 50.
Right.
So there's some things that I do want to. And I say traveling and all that stuff, but just different things that I see that I want to do, and honestly, it's like, am I truly walking in my purpose?
That's good.
I think I'm headed that way, but I think we have different assignments at different times.
I agree.
I don't think it's just like one purpose and it's like that one thing forever. I think there are seasons.
And when you were saying it, and the question that came to me is, do you ever really stop living? Or do you ever really get to a point where you're like, okay, this is it?
Right.
Because I think when you get to a point where you say, this is it, I'm done.
Then it's like, okay, what else?
So we always should be in a state of, my pastor always say, we are lifelong learners. Yeah. So I should always be forever in the state of learning how to live.
Yes.
Which direction to live. Yeah. Like you said, what's my assignment for this season of my life?
Right. Right. So I will say Dr. Butler, who was our youth pastor at my old church, he said to me, every year should be a year of growth.
Absolutely.
And if you're not growing, then basically you really need to find out why or what's happening. So when I think about, am I living, am I growing? Yes. I mean, I think about, years ago versus now. Mm-hmm. Am I the same person?
Absolutely
no, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Not at all. Are there things that I want to do better and different? Yeah, absolutely. But so I can say that I have grown. So I'm living more than I did before.
Absolutely.
But then again, so I struggle with that too, because I don't regret a lot of my past because it made me who I am now.
Absolutely.
Did we talk about that?
I think we did. We probably touched on it.
Yeah. So who I am now. And I actually love who I am now.
Absolutely.
Now, there's some things I want to change. Yes.
I think that's going to always be the case, though.
Right.
We are just people who are critical of ourselves. Yes. But I think criticism is not a bad thing.
No, I don't think it's
because
a bad
criticism always makes you check out what's going on. What do I need to work on? What do I need to improve on? Because if you get to a point where you think you're not improving, you're not growing.
Right.
So I got to be able to be a little critical of me so that I can continue to grow.
Right.
And work on whatever issues, because you're going to have issues forever.
Regardless. But I do think, so if we say, okay, what is holding me back from truly living my best life? So, and not compare, I'm not trying to compare or do comparison, but if you see some people who are not afraid to step out and do different things and they become successful in what they want to do. It's not necessarily what I want to do, what they want to do, but they're not afraid to step out. So if there's some things that I want to do, why am I fearful of doing it? Am I fearful of success, or am I fearful of failure? But some people they're just not afraid.
When you asked me the question, immediately the first answer that came to me is say, what's stopping me from truly living? Me.
Yeah.
I'm stopping me.
Yes.
There's no reason why I can't do anything that I want to do. The thing that's stopping me is me. Yeah. And so I have to figure out, what is it that I am, that's the fear or the anxiety in me that's stopping me from living truly, not just purpose, or living truly of who I am.
Yeah.
We show parts and we live in parts of who we are, but you never truly live in all of you. Right. So what's stopping us from living in you?
It's us.
Absolutely. It's us. Absolutely.
And I think just honestly, daily living, life. Because sometimes you'll do something and you just keep in routine. So I think routine stops things, not stepping outside of the box.
I think the biggest thing is just fear of, and not even fear of success, fear of failure.
Yeah.
Fear of failure.
So I'm not necessarily I guess
you always had that entrepreneurial. She has always been the one. She don't care about quitting no job. She don't do that. Has never been my calling, honey. Never. She don't care nothing about that. You just started insurance business. You start this business. I just stayed with I stayed with the rivers and the lakes that I'm used to.
Right. Well, I will step out. I'll step out and do different. I'm not scared of that.
Right.
Because I feel like if it doesn't work, you can always go back to what you were doing, or you can start over.
Right. When with me, I've always been trying to save one. And I think now that I've gotten older, I have spreading my wings more and doing things, or trying to purposely push myself outside of my comfort zone. So, one thing that I did, and I'm going to share it because it's crazy. So I have a friend, I'm good at pictures, and I have a lot of people tell me you take really good pictures.
Yeah.
So, I did my photo shoot for my 50th.
Yes.
And I have a friend who is constantly telling me, you need to be a model. You need to be a model. So I submitted my pictures to a modeling agency and actually got picked.
Oh.
And they want me to do a photo shoot. And so I didn't even pay any attention to it because I'm thinking this is probably fake and a scam. Why are they even calling me? The modeling agency have been calling me.
I mean,
I said, I'm going to try, just see what happens. I'm like, this old lady, I'm 50 to do it. But you know what? I say, why not?
Why not?
Only thing they're going to do is say no.
Yes.
If it's no, I can't say I didn't try.
Right, exactly.
I can't say. And it's just so funny because I feel like these days I have pushed myself to do things that I always said I want to do, right, but I never really had the heart. And now I'm just like, okay, you know what, do it. I got a nose ring at 50. I got a tattoo, you know, just things that I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I actually did that. Right. But I said, you know, it's time out for living in fear.
That's right.
It's time out for living less than what I desire, you know.
Because if we constantly live in fear, then what kind of life is that?
Absolutely.
And then what are those dreams? And that's even to the people listening and watching. What are those dreams that have been hanging around your head or hanging around for years? And you keep saying, oh, I'm too old for that. Or I can't do that. Or, but why can't you?
Right. And then the ones that you keep pushing down and saying, like you said, I can't do that. Or what if this happens? We will what if ourselves to death.
Yes.
And we have got to stop doing that. What's the worst that can happen? No.
Right, exactly. That it doesn't
work. And if not, you're never too old to start over. Yes. You're never too old to begin again.
Yep.
We think, and we have been trained to believe that when we reach a certain age, we're supposed to have this and we should have this. And I should have been married. I'm 50 and never been married. But that's everybody's journey is everybody different. Right. Yeah. So that's not my journey.
Yeah. Because comparison, what's the quote? Something like comparison is the thief of joy.
That's good.
So,
and that's so true.
That's true.
That is so true.
Even with social media, like we see everybody quote unquote living their best life. Now we don't really know. We just see what we see because people are just going to display. And I think that's okay. I mean, if somebody want to display that they're living their best life, I think there's nothing wrong with that.
That's your narrative. Yeah. That's what you want.
Yes, because no one's going to constantly be on there. Well, I'm depressed. I'm doing this. I'm that. You know,
they shouldn't be.
But you know, but I don't see anything wrong with that. But the people that are watching, we have to realize we can't get into comparison,
right?
Because then we will get to the point like, well, I'm not doing that. And then you're down and then you feel like, okay, well, I'm just not living. And now you're going back home in the corner.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And we can't do that. If there are things that we desire to do, it could be small as I want to, I don't know, jump in a pool, you know, or something. And you're afraid to do it. Just try it.
Right. Absolutely.
Or take lessons.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm talking to myself because, you know, I'm trying to lose this weight.
Aren't we all?
Lord help. Like, I just like food too much.
Right. Oh, I'm always trying to cook a meal somewhere. That'd be the problem.
Y'all, she stay cooking
and
something.
Inventing something.
I need to be trying to invent a new salad. This is what I need to be trying to invent. But anyway, back to what I was saying though. But yeah, I mean, we just gotta be okay with stepping out, knowing that, okay, sometimes you just got to do it afraid.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just knowing that even if you don't see yourself in something, that does not mean that you're capable of doing it. So I was telling a friend about the modeling thing, and he said to me, why do you go in? Because I told him, I said, I don't see myself as a model. He said, well, why you go into it already setting yourself up to fail and saying you're not capable? I told him, I said, I don't say I wasn't capable of it. I just say I don't see myself as doing it. So we have to realize you don't never know what you're capable of until you actually do it.
Right.
And then we have to change our mindset.
Yeah, we do. And that is a big thing. Is the mindset.
It is.
Oh my goodness.
And a lot of it comes from being raised a certain way, the environment that you are raised in, your friends that you have, and you have to learn how to live outside of the people that you're attached to.
Yes.
And it's okay to move on even if they don't move with you.
Right.
We have a tendency to always want to pull people with us. And sometimes you have to go alone.
You do.
And then we have a problem with being alone.
I don't anymore. I have no problem being alone anymore. I used to, of course, because I, always had people around me, my kids and all that. But no, I love being alone now. I have no problem. I'll go on solo trips in a minute.
Right. Sure.
And I have no problem with it. But again, you're right. It's like, how we've been raised, who we've been around, what we've been told, in our environment. And sometimes it's not just our family. It could be our neighborhoods, our communities.
Absolutely.
It could be the school you went to. You know, all those things play a part in, can I do this and succeed?
Absolutely.
If I fail. But I think people fear failure, not necessarily because they fail, but what other people will say.
Absolutely.
You know,
yes,
and sometimes we have to get that out of our heads.
We have to stop listening to other people.
Yes, because God could truly have something for you, but you are thinking like the what ifs, like you said, the what ifs, and what if this, what they're gonna say, what, you know, and we have to learn how to mute the noise.
Absolutely, because a lot of people are comfortable with you the way they are comfortable.
Yes.
They want to keep you in a box because they're comfortable with that person.
Yeah.
And when you start to get out of that box, then they want to pull you back in and talk to you because they are comfortable with you. We have to learn how to be comfortable even if they not comfortable.
So Deion Sanders had a quote, and I just saw it recently. I think he did said it a while ago, but he said, don't let my confidence disturb. He didn't say disturb. Something about don't let my confidence disturb your insecurity. Offend. That's what he said. Don't let my confidence offend your insecurity. Because he said, I walk like I walk because I'm confident. Absolutely. I dress like I dress because I'm confident. So he was like, don't let my confidence offend your insecurity.
Absolutely.
And I think that's kind of what happens sometimes because, like you said, at first, if I'm saying I can't do it, I know that I want to do this, or like you want to model. Okay, yeah, somebody said I should model. I'm not sure if I should do it. So you kind of lack in that confidence.
Absolutely.
So then you realize, okay, you know what? I think I can do this.
Right.
I'm going to do this photo shoot. And then you like, I can do this. And then that confidence will start building. Then you're like, you know what? I can. Now you're like, oh yeah, I got this. And you walk and you strutting, and people who are insecure will look at that and then they'll get offended because it's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's just that now you have that confidence. And I think sometimes people don't feel comfortable with that.
We also have to learn that we don't always need validation from everybody else.
Yes.
Because we have a tendency to want to tell people, well, I want to do this. I want to do this. Seeking validation. We have to learn how to validate ourselves.
Yes.
And some things we have to keep a secret and just do it.
Like totally a secret.
Just do it.
And
don't tell anybody because as soon as you do, here come your friends who say, oh, you sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
And
because
we feed into that.
Yes, because they don't think they can do it themselves.
Right, right. So we have to learn how to validate our own feelings and be our own pusher. You know, we have to learn how to pump our own selves up and move on without what they say, move in secret. Sometimes you have to move in secret.
Yep. Or move in silence.
Move in silence.
Yeah. Even though
silence.
we're shattering the silence. But sometimes you need to just keep it silent.
Right.
That's so funny you said that because was it today or yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I was riding with my son and I said, it was something I told him I wanted to do. I said, I think I want to do that. And he said, he said to me,
what?
He said, are you asking me for validation?
See?
I said, what?
That part.
He said, are you asking for validation?
See?
And I was like, I was just asking. And he was like, if it's something you want to do, he was like, just do it.
That part.
I was like, well, okay.
That part.
There was a lesson from my middle son, Ty.
See, all right, nephew.
He sure did. He was like, because he said, sometimes I think you want to do stuff, but you asking me because you want validation.
Absolutely.
And I was like, scratching my head like.
And we have to learn how to just do stuff and don't worry about what nobody think. You have to do what's best for you regardless of what the people think.
Yes.
And just move on that.
Yeah.
Move on
and that's
that.
what he was saying. He was like, if you want to do it, he's like, just do it.
Absolutely.
He said, you don't have to tell nobody. You don't have to ask anybody. He was like, the only thing you got to do is once it's done, say, hey guys, look what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
And I was like, that was some great advice.
That was. Okay,
I was right. I was like,
come on.
Okay. And he said, because he said, I'm just like you. He said, I do the same thing. And I said, yeah, we are a lot alike in the way we act. But
I think a lot of that is learned behavior.
Yeah.
It's learned behavior. Yeah. We've taught that we need to be careful.
Right.
We've taught that you need to be safe. Don't do this because you can't do that. But you have to learn the way the world is set up now. We can do whatever we choose to do.
We can do whatever.
Absolutely.
It's a big old world out here. And that's one thing I've learned too from Trey is that this world is huge.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? There's so much more than just St. Louis, North County.
Right.
There's so much more than just St. Louis, Missouri. There's so much more than the Midwest. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's just so much world out here.
Right.
And it's okay to get out and explore and go to different places.
It is.
Because you'll find that you'll learn more about yourself in other places.
Absolutely. It's one thing I have learned from Trey and from Mia.
Yes.
They have seen the world.
Okay.
And at their age, I would never have imagined doing all that they have done.
Right.
It's like the world is an open door for them and they're not afraid to discover it. But they have encouraged me to want to discover it too. Because I'm living through them. And I'm like, well, you shoot, I'm going to get out there and do it too.
Right.
I went and got my passport. I'm just waiting for my first stamp to go in.
Right. Just, because
absolutely
they're not scared to do it.
Mm-mm.
These young kids, they're fearless. Like they would just go out. But I don't know. We just didn't know.
Right. We didn't.
We didn't know we could go travel the world and do, or at least I didn't. I don't know. Y'all might have knew. I didn't know. But they're fearless.
Right.
And then they'll just do anything,
right.
and don't even care.
Not at all. Not at all. They're like, well, we're going to do this.
Right. Like it's nothing.
Right.
I'm like, that's actually, I think it's great.
I think it's absolutely wonderful.
I do too.
Awesome.
I
think it is.
So I think too, with saying, okay, why am I not living? So my next question is, what are you going to do to start living?
Ooh, that's good. You know what? I think with me, discipline is one of them.
Oh,
I have to be disciplined because the way I want to live is going to require me to be disciplined now so that in the long run, I can truly live the way I want. Yes. The way I want to get out there. Because I want to slim down.
Yes.
I want my finances to be better than what they are.
Right.
But in order for that, it's required for me to be disciplined now.
Yeah.
So that further, as I get up in age even more, I can have the freedom to truly do what it is that I need to do.
Right. Because that's true. If you can't handle what you have now and you want more, then you just, you're not going to handle it.
You are not.
So, and even though, okay, so say right now we're in and I'm just saying, because I'm okay where I'm always wanted to do more and do better. That's just how I am. But if I'm in a space I am now and I am not happy with it, or I'm just kind of like I have a habit of never being content where I am, always wanting next.
Right.
But take the time to appreciate what you have here. And then when you get your next, I think it'll come easier. You know what I'm saying? So. Like this Antoine, who was on our Bishop, who's on our podcast. Yeah. He said that. So he is in California, but he said he did not leave St. Louis on a bad note. Like he didn't leave it like, I hate this city, I got to get out of here. He said he actually left it at a place where he fell in love with the city.
Okay.
And he was like, don't leave a place if just because you hate it. He was like, fall in love with it and leave on a good note.
He left on a healthy note.
Yeah. Ooh.
That's what it was.
That's good.
It wasn't that it was good. It was healthy.
Oh my God.
And so when we leave on a healthy note, we're taking that healthiness with us. But when you're mad and you're disgruntled where you are, you leave it in an unhealthy place.
Yes.
And so you carry that unhealthiness with you.
Yeah.
And that's going to be in another place, just still unhealthy.
Just unhealthy.
And so then when you get there, you wonder why everything is a mess because you're still unhealthy. So when he left in a healthy place.
That's good. That's really good. And honestly, if we want, so we're going to take that and say that is probably the first step.
Absolutely.
Into living your best life is to become healthy.
Mentally,
yes,
spiritually,
not just physically,
financially.
Yes.
You got to be healthy in all that place. All those places. And it starts a lot of it with mental first. Because you can't handle a lot of stuff if you can't get your mind right.
That's right.
Your mind has to be right.
Yes, because you got to change some of those mindsets.
You do.
You got to change some of those bad habits.
Absolutely.
You got to change all that stuff. But it's like, so let's start there. So healthy, spiritually, physically, mentally, like financially.
Right.
You got to have be healthy in all four of those areas before you can even go forth to say, okay, now I'm living my best life. And then,
Joseph Price was our minister of music at my church. He's recently retired. That's what he said.
Shout out to Joseph Price.
Shout out to Joseph. But what he always said in choir rehearsal was practice makes permanent. And I say that to say that healthy practice makes permanent, but unhealthy practices make permanent too.
It does.
So when you rehearse and continue to do unhealthy things, now you have permanently done and are doing unhealthy things. So we have to change and start practicing healthy things in order to make those healthy things permanent.
Yes. And you have to do it. That's the thing.
That's the thing. You have to do it, which requires discipline.
Yes.
That discipline keeps
okay, so
coming back.
That's number 2. So let's go in order. So get healthy, become disciplined.
Absolutely.
So those are 2 things first that you have to do to get to a point where you're going to live your best life.
Absolutely.
Because you're right. Because discipline, discipline or being healthy without discipline is not.
It's not going to happen.
It's
not.
No.
Because it's going to take that discipline to continue to be healthy.
Yes.
Because you can start off, and if you are not disciplined, you'll fall back off into those old habits.
Yes.
But we have to be disciplined to keep on doing that new thing so that we can get to that better living, that better life that we want.
And to be permanent. And that goes with like exercising.
Yes.
Exercising, one of those things that you don't feel like doing. But once you do it, you feel like, oh my God, I'm so glad I did that. But you got to start. And not only start, but you got to keep going.
You got to be consistent.
Yes.
So and that's your other thing.
Yep.
You got to be healthy, disciplined, and consistent.
Come on. Y'all writing this down.
These write it in the chat.
Write it in the chat. If you're write it in the chat. So you got to be healthy, disciplined, and consistent. Mm-hmm. And healthy consists of spiritual health, mental health,
and financial,
physical health, and financial health.
Absolutely.
So those 4 things.
Absolutely.
And then you got to be disciplined and you got to be consistent.
Got to be consistent because you want to make that permanent.
That's right.
Consistency makes good habits permanent.
Right. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Because again, bad habits can be consistent too.
Right. You can consistently make bad choices and bad habits.
Right.
I think we have all been at that place at one time or another.
Right.
We definitely have.
And we're tired of that.
We are absolutely
I just saw this quote. Oh my gosh. I wish I could remember. It was from another podcast. I think it was Pearls and something podcast. But it says something like and I'm just going to paraphrase, you know what quitting or you know what it feels like it wasn't not give up, but let's find out how to keep going. You know, it's easy. Yes. I know how to stop. I know how to quit. I know how to do that, but I don't want to. I want to know what it's like to keep going and not give up.
Absolutely.
And get to those healthy lifestyle, get to that discipline, get to that consistency.
Right.
Yes. That's what I want. So for me, that is a part of living. So so that's another thing. Living your best life is not just, I'm traveling, I'm eating right or whatever. It's whole, being whole.
That's good. Yeah. It's being a whole healthy person.
Yes.
And we keep saying healthy, but that's big.
Yeah.
That word encompasses a lot.
Yes.
And you got to be healthy in all of these areas so that you can live your best life.
One thing we forgot is emotionally healthy.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
That's huge because we want to be in relationships.
Absolutely.
And you cannot get into a relationship and you're not emotionally healthy.
Absolutely.
And I think that sometimes comes along with mental health.
Yeah.
But I don't think people actually check to see if they're emotionally healthy.
Right.
Are you mature enough to handle relationships?
Yeah.
Are you insecure? Mm-hmm. Are you, are there things that you need to work on before you bring that to someone else? Mm-hmm. Because we don't want to deal with someone else's baggage, but at the same time,
that means they have to deal with ours.
Exactly.
They got to deal with our baggage.
Exactly.
And you need to know what your baggages are, what your triggers are, all of those things, because a lot of people are coming broken.
Yep.
We coming broken.
What Erykah Badu say, bag lady, you gonna miss your bus. You can't hurry up. You got too much stuff. Honey, let that go.
Absolutely. You got to.
Let it go. Let it go.
And sometimes it's just let one thing go at a time.
Yeah.
It's not a race. This is a marathon.
Yes.
We're not trying, and that's the problem. Everything wants everything done instantly. And nothing comes instantly. Right, but nothing comes instantly.
Yeah.
We have to be okay with the journey.
Yeah.
Because when you get it instantly, it's something in the journey that you're missing. It's a lesson in there that you missed.
Yeah.
And now you got to repeat.
Yeah.
We on constant repeat.
I think too, though, if you actually, like you said, take their time and enjoy the journey, you will enjoy yourself.
Absolutely.
And you will really love who you are, because it's like little check marks here. You're like, you know what? I'm proud of myself. I did that. I looked at this. I said I was going to do this. I did that. But it's those small wins, and pretty soon you'll look up and you will have done it all.
And the thing is, while you were saying it came to me that you're planting seeds.
Yeah.
Little things that you check off, you're planting seeds. So at the end, you're going to reap a harvest.
That's right.
You're going to reap a harvest of a wonderful life that you enjoyed the journey and took your time and learned on. And now I didn't miss anything because I planted all those seeds, which are going to benefit me later.
Yes. What's the scripture about, if you reap harvest, if you faint not, I can't even think of it off the top of my head.
I can't think of it right now.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like, just keep going.
Absolutely.
And like you said, plant those seeds, those little things that you think that you can't do. Just know, take your time and do it.
Right.
Just like, and I'm gonna go back to exercising. I keep saying that because I'm talking to myself, but you're not gonna work out tomorrow and lose 10 pounds.
I'll be the skinniest person in the world. Let me work out in 3 days and lose about 20 pounds.
Let me tell you something. Y'all won't be able to tell me nothing.
You hear me?
Okay. And I used to be a small girl, so this is like, okay, this is not the jam.
Right.
But it's like, but you got to keep it up. And then you look back. Okay, so I'm gonna use my locks. So my lockversary is coming up, y'all. I'm excited. October 1st is my 1 year lockiversary. So I'm excited about that. But when I first got them, my hair was about that little. I had some little bitty twists about that big. But now, they're getting fuller and they're growing. And it's like, but it was a gradual process. And now here we are a year later. And I'm like, oh my God, I love them. I love them because I didn't know what they were going to look like a year later, but it's just, not giving up.
Right.
Being okay. Patience.
It is.
Okay.
Your locks will preach to you, honey, because they have preached to me.
Because you get that stage, you're like, what is
because
this?
you go in stages with these, but if you look at it, it's a stage of life. Yeah. Because they start off small and you frustrated because there's nothing you can do with it. It don't look right. You look like a little boy.
Yeah.
I've been there. And then
they shrink. Mine still shrink though now.
But then you get to a point, okay, it's a little longer, but it's long enough for one style, but not too long, not long enough for another style. And now you just frustrated.
Yeah.
Until you get to a point where you're like, you know what? I'm really loving this. I have finally arrived. I've been 6 years locked. And I have arrived to a point. Now it's to a point where now when I'm going to do it all this
right.
Now I don't know what to do with it.
Should I cut it or what should I do?
Right. But it's a journey. And then nothing I was going to say is along the journey, we have to learn to appreciate the small things.
Yeah.
We are such in a rush to get to the big life, to get to the travel. We want to go to Dubai and all this kind of stuff. But enjoy the little things. Sometimes we got to take a little trip.
Start by going to Memphis,
go to Chicago. Go to do a staycation in your city.
Right.
Enjoy the little things.
Yeah. And I am trying to enjoy St. Louis more. I complain about the city all the time. I'm not happy with it. I feel like sometimes we're stuck in the city. And the mentalities here need to change, but I'm trying to learn to enjoy. So like my daughter last weekend, I don't know if I told you, she went to Forest Park by herself. She had a blanket. She took some food. She sat up by Art Hill. She ate. She had her laptop. She got a paddle boat, rented a paddle boat. She did a paddle boat ride, all by herself. And I was like, Tia, it's dangerous. And she was like, Mom, it was fine. There's a lot of people there, whatever. But she had a ball. She's like, sometimes you just got to enjoy yourself.
And absolutely. And I don't mind going by myself. Okay. There's actually, which I found out, I'm a big TikToker. There is a art alley downtown off Washington. And they have the whole thing. I've seen that. They have it decorated. It's like art. People down there spray painting. But you can go down there. They even have sometimes a band in the middle of the alley.
Oh, wow.
And I'm a big person. I love museums and artwork. And I said, I want to go and check it out. But you just never know what you're missing out on.
You got to explore.
You got to. You have to. And that's part of living life.
Yeah. So what we say, there is being healthy, having discipline, being consistent, and I believe patience is one of them, because we did say patience. Yes. So have patience with you.
Yes.
Have patience with the journey that you're about to embark on,
and know that everything is not going to happen right away. You got to be patient.
Put in the chat, patience.
Right.
Yeah.
So what we got? We got healthy, discipline, consistent, and patient. Those are good.
Yeah.
I need to keep my own mental notes.
Right. I'm about to go back and watch this.
You hear me?
And I'm going to take my own notes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you got to have all those things.
And I think you need to journal as you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that is something good to do. I used to journal sometimes, even though I want to be a journalist, but I used to journal sometimes, but I don't as much anymore. But I think that is good too, because that you can kind of check your progress.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. I remember with my small group. Excuse me. I teach a small group. Mm-hmm. So what we do is, and this is for me, what I was going to say is to remember your small successes. Mm. So at the beginning of the year, throughout the year, we put in a jar all of our blessings. So that at the beginning of the next year, you can open the jar and look at all your blessings that you have throughout a year.
That's good. Yeah.
And we did that. And just going back through, like, oh, wow.
Because you forget some of those things.
Yeah. You do. And you don't realize you get so frustrated and busy with being busy that you don't, that you forget all of the small things. And when you go back by the end of the year, I promise you, your jar will be full. Yeah. And when you go back and just reread some of the blessings that you had throughout the year, you'll be amazed at the stuff.
I bet because honestly, you probably won't some things you'll be like, oh my God, I forgot that even happened.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And sometimes it's a small thing.
And a lot of times it's the small things because we look for these grandiose things to happen. And a lot of times it's just small things that happen over time.
Right.
And we have to appreciate the small things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we forget them. Yeah. You take them for granted.
Yep.
But I promise you do a blessings jar and you'll remember once you go back and look. So that's something
good to do even for 2024. Mm-hmm. Yeah. To start like a blessings jar. Just write a little down.
Just write it down. Just write it on a piece of paper and slip it in a jar.
And as you write it on the back, say, God, thank you.
Absolutely.
And put that right in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This is good. This is good. I need to go and
it's so many things in this episode I need to do.
Me too. While we talking. Because we talking, but these are things that we want to walk out.
Absolutely.
And that we want to do.
Yes.
Are we doing these things right now?
No.
But we know the things that we want to do.
Isn't it amazing the things that everybody knows that they should do, but we don't do?
Don't do it.
If we do half the things that we know,
we would be living.
See, that part. That part right there.
We will be living.
That part right there.
So really what we need to do also is look in the mirror and be honest with yourself. Mm-hmm. This is another thing.
Yes.
Be honest. Yes. So here we got. Who we got?
Healthy.
Discipline. Consistency. Patience.
And honesty.
Right there in the chat. Honesty.
And that means you have to take a hard look at yourself.
Yes.
And be okay to see the ugly parts you don't like.
Yeah.
And it's okay to see those parts.
Yeah. And see them, but also realize, okay, I'm trying to go and live life. Mm-hmm. So these are things I want to correct and just correct them.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think I said this on one we was on before is to look at yourself naked.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I mean, and it works because if you in the mirror naked, you can't hide nothing. I mean, really, you see it all. You can't hide anything. But that's where you face everything. And then the thing is, you don't even have to do it physically naked. If you write in a journal, that's your mirror. Write it down.
Yeah.
What you think of yourself, the good, bad, and ugly, the cons, and the pros, so that you see what I need to work on.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you have to be honest with yourself.
And you have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Action. That's your other word. Put action.
Okay. What we got?
We got healthy, discipline, consistency, patience, honesty, and action.
Take action.
This is good. Y'all better get these words of wisdom.
Right. Action, honey. Action. Yes. Action. Because faith without works is dead. So you could say all day long and you could have the faith for it all day long. But if you do not put action behind it, then what you're saying is nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
I think Daddy told me too about goals. He said, if you do not write down your goals, it's just a dream. I'm sure I jacked that up, but because you're not really going to do it. Mm-hmm.
The word says write the vision and make it plain. Because the thing is, you can think of stuff all day long, but when you write it down, it becomes real to you. And then I have a place to go back to so I can remember, oh, this was the plan let me see what I can do with this plan.
Yes. And honestly, when you do, just pray over all the stuff that you're doing.
Absolutely.
You know, God will guide you and he'll show you
He will.
because you might say, well, I want to do that. And it's okay to try it. And God might say, you know what? I really don't want you to do that. I want you to do something else. But just sitting still and not doing anything.
And listening, trying to hear from him.
Yeah.
Meditation.
Yeah, sometimes you do have to be still to listen. Yes.
Meditation is good.
Yeah.
And it's just meditating and being quiet.
Prayer. There we go. We should have said that first. That's number one. So let's back up one. So prayer is number one.
Absolutely.
Then health,
and then
discipline,
consistency, patience, honesty, and action. We got 7 things going on this list. It's a whole book. Of all, it's a whole book.
Right. I can't even believe I'm remembering it because I'll be like, what was that?
That means it was meant to be remembered, meant to be said.
But the good thing is we can go back and watch.
See, we forgot, y'all better watch it. Save the podcast, put it in your favorites, whatever you got to do, so you can always go back and listen.
Yes. Because these are good nuggets. These are nuggets that we need to live. Because I know people say, "I don't live my best life." And when they say live the best life, it's usually. So I love me a good restaurant and a vibe. I love a vibe.
Oh yes.
So I like restaurants, but I like a vibe with a restaurant.
Right.
You know
Right.
So I like food, but if the vibe is good, sometimes I'll take the good vibe over the great food.
Right.
I love a rooftop.
Oh, I do too.
Love a city view. Yes, I love a city view. So for me, that is like my best life. A city view in a busy city, on a rooftop, eating, having a good time with my friends. Yeah. And in a beautiful city. I love New York. That is my favorite place on earth. So like to be there in a rooftop. So they actually have this place in the winter where they have the igloos.
Oh,
so I'm trying my best
I've seen
to do that in New York this year. But I'm saying all this to say, living your best life is really different to anybody else.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Like to Trey, his is the mountains.
Right.
And all this stuff.
No thanks.
No thank you.
No thanks. I think mine was when I was in DC and me and Devin got up early in the morning and walked down the street to that coffee shop.
Yes.
And we just sat outside in the morning. The weather was nice.
Yeah.
Just had us some coffee and a sandwich. That was the best time to me. Just chilling. And the atmosphere, we was in the city, but we was outside.
Yes.
And that was wonderful. I was so relaxed.
I do like that too. I love outside city.
Yes.
Like when you're at a restaurant or a cafe or something.
Right. Little coffee shop. Just a little local coffee shop. It was, I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. So small things like that. And those are things as you are going through your list and doing those things, these are little things that you can do to enjoy your life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even like I honestly do like working out. I really do. I really enjoy cycling, spinning. That's like one of my favorite things to do. And it's like, just do it.
Right. It's nothing holding you back but you.
But me.
But you.
So let me look in this mirror. Yes, you hold yourself back.
Absolutely. We hold ourselves back on a lot of things. And it's time to stop.
Yeah.
It's time to break that. Yeah. It's time to break it and just live.
So that means that we on here doing all this talking.
We got to be showing so that when you come back and check, we can say we check some stuff off our list.
That's right.
So y'all have to keep us accountable.
That's right. So what we're going to do is come back and do a check-in episode.
Yes.
And we're going to see where are we? What have we done? So that's our homework. And that's your all's homework too. Tonight tonight or tomorrow, whenever, write down living your best life. But write down some things that you want to do according to our list.
Right.
And then we're going to do a check-in and we're going to be transparent.
Right.
And we're going to be honest and we're going to talk about what have we done. And we can start now. We don't have to wait until the new year.
No, we don't.
You can start right now.
Absolutely.
This is the last quarter of the year. This could be the best quarter of 2023.
It can.
This could be your whole year.
You all send your questions in and check on us and let us know, hey, have y'all done this? Keep us accountable.
Yeah.
Keep us because it's good to have somebody to keep you accountable.
That's right.
You need accountability partner every now and then.
Yeah.
So you all are our accountability partners.
Like,
check in, right. And say, hey, what have y'all done? Have y'all done this? What's going on?
Yeah.
Just ask us questions.
Yeah. So one thing I do want to start doing, so I'm in a group, but I want to start, so if you have an iPhone, best phone you could ever have, there is the fitness app. So I get the fitness app. Well, I actually you pay for it monthly and it connects with your watch. So now with the new iOS 17, you can put your workouts together. So that way you can do it and it'll just go to the next one and to the next one. So if you have the fitness app, you kind of know what I'm talking about. So I set up a program for myself. It says, what do you want to do? I put in what I want to do. And they said, okay, what are the people that you like to work out to? Because there are certain people that do the fitness. You can choose your trainer. It's all on TV. You can choose your trainer. Okay, this is my trainer. So they said, okay, so this is for 5 days straight. They gave me the workouts to do. I don't have to guess it because when I told them is what I want to do, and they put it for me.
Oh, that's nice.
So guess how many times I've done it?
None. Not a one.
I went through the whole thing because I was like so excited. iOS 17 was coming out because I knew they was going to have that feature. And, but I'm saying this out loud. I'm going to do it.
We're going to do it.
Yeah.
I don't have the fitness app. Well, I have the fitness app on my phone, but I don't have a watch.
Oh, okay.
But I have
that's when you'll go to get your watch.
I got to get a watch.
Yeah. So I'm going to do. So that's one of my things I'm going to be transparent about because I truly do want to lose this weight because on my 50th, I want to be 50 and fabulous, honey.
Well, I'm 50 and fabulous.
Yes, you are. And I will be too, but I want to be thinner.
I want to be thinner. I want to be healthier.
Yes,
not necessarily thin.
There we go.
I just want to be healthy.
Yeah,
but
honestly, if we're honest with ourselves, okay, that's one thing we got to do. Be honest with ourselves. Truly, if you just change your life, it's not a let me diet. It's just you change your lifestyle.
Absolutely.
And with the change, one of the benefits of changing your lifestyle is the weight will fall off.
It will. I mean, just
naturally will. If you eat better, you exercise, you drink your water, it's just going, you don't even have to really try. It's just going to happen.
Absolutely.
Because you're doing what you're supposed to do anyway.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Look, I don't have nothing else to say. Keep us accountable. We're going to try. We're going to do some things. We're going to, like I said, come back and be completely transparent. The good, the bad, and the ugly of it all.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah. So this has been a great episode. I hope you guys have got something out of this. I know I have.
Write your notes. Get your nuggets down. Don't forget the list.
Right. I know I have. So I'm really excited because I'm going to start this.
Right. I'm going to start too.
Yes. I don't know what I'm going to name it when I'm going to start. I always got to name it something.
Send in the name.
Yeah.
Look, I'm trying to get them involved.
What is this journey called? My, I don't know, better me journey. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm going to keep myself, I have a whole bunch of journals. So I'm going to try my best to start doing that. But I got my fitness stuff together. I kind of know nutrition wise, some things that I want to do, drink my water, all of that. I mean, not just health, there's other things I want to do.
Right.
But yeah, so we're going to start.
We're going to start. We're going
to have I don't know when we're going to have our check-in episode, but we're going to have a check-in episode and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about
how's it going so far? How's it going to this point?
Yeah.
From this point to that point.
Yeah. How's it going?
What has happened? What was good? What was hard?
Yeah.
What was hard? It's about transparency. And it's no longer living in the shadows. That's why we shatter in the silence.
Yes.
Too many things happen in silence.
Yes.
And so now it's time to just
shatter that.
Let it go.
Yep.
What we afraid of? We living outside of fear.
Yep.
We got to live outside of fear.
Living outside. That's the name of the program.
Living outside of fear. Hey.
So we're going to be living outside of fear. And that's how we're going to live our best life.
Absolutely.
So again, you guys, thank you so much for always tuning into Be the Voice podcast. We love it here. We hope you guys love it as well.
Absolutely.
So again, just another amazing week. We'll be back next week with another episode. Can't wait to be back. So we're just so excited to always talk about different things.
Right.
And I love to talk, so I could do
this
all day. But again, you guys, thank you for tuning in. We're going to be transparent. Hopefully you'll be transparent with us and we're going to make this happen.
That's right. Let's do it.
Well, we will check you guys next week and we'll see you later.
Bye. Deuces.